This is concerning my criminal conviction and rape life for U.S. Congress District 7. I want to talk to you a little bit about my trial. Besides all three police officers, Sergeant Hammond, Sergeant Smith, and Robert Bates, Officer Robert Bates of the Howard County Police, retired, now Sheriff Robert Bates, committing complete perjury, offering falsification of evidence, and withholding the identity of this girl, that she was 22 in my court case, and blacking out 90% of the police statements that she and my wife's brother's family made to them as not part of discovery, and the judge, under rich review, withheld, showing they knew this girl was an illegal alien and that she was not a minor. And according to her statement, she said, "I touched her chest one time." Well, wait a minute, that's not chargeable. I laid on her one time. Well, I used to wrestle with all three of my kids and my two nephews, my brother's two kids, on the floor in the living room. The living room of my house, if you see my videos, was not there. I had to tear it down because it was a porch, screened-in porch. And it was falling off the back of the house, pulling on the house, so I pried it off and let it fall down into the swamp, and then brought it back up and burned it as firewood. And then once we filled in the backyard, added it back on as my new living room, dining room, because I thought I was going to go to jail so my wife could rent out the front house. But back to the case. This woman got up in court and said, "I fondled her breast." I mean, I touched her chest. And the prosecution kept yelling at her, "He fondled your breast." "No, he touched my chest." She couldn't remember the lies they were telling her. Well, she jumped into a couple of the wrestling matches, and I was on top of all of them, which is what she said, that I laid on top of her, tickling her, not in any sexual manner and any sexual parts, but that was not chargeable. So she told him that to say that I forced her legs apart while I was laying on top of her, and she could feel her erection while fully clothed. She screwed up on that too. She couldn't repeat what they told her to say in court. Then she saw me naked one time in the bathroom. As I said, we only had one bathroom in the house, and we had 11 people living here at the time. And this was late at night. I wasn't accustomed at 3 o'clock in the morning to have to shut the bathroom door just to stand over the toilet and pee. Well, that's what she said in the police statement. But they convinced her to say that I whipped it out all the time and tried to have her play with it and to testify in court on it. But her original police statement didn't say that they blacked out to defense. None of the stuff she said was chargeable. Period. And in court, knowing that I didn't have this addition on the back of my house at that time, I hadn't rebuilt it back on in 10 years because I didn't have the money. I didn't do that until '86. The living room couch was the center of everything. The front door and the back door was in the living room. To get to the bathroom, you had to go through the living room. To get to the kitchen, you had to go through the living room. To get to the bedrooms upstairs, the living room was right there, open. My back door, the windows were broken in it, and the back door lock was open to run out of the little back porch. There was glassed in before the screened-in porch, which is now my kitchen and bathroom, was glassed-in first porch that was unheated. To get out back. I had 5 kids. 3 of my own and 2 nephews here. And I'm supposed to be molesting her on my living room couch in the middle of the summer when they're all out of school. She kept changing her story to the bedroom. Oh, wait a minute, it couldn't happen to the bedroom. It happened all times of the year. It didn't happen during the summer. I was charged with July 15th of this crime, on or about. That's the middle of the summer when I had 5 kids in the home, besides her. And she wasn't a kid, she was 22, and they knew it. She kept changing her story so much that the judge told the prosecution, stop, stop, stop. No more, and my lawyer, to stop questioning her. She did not understand what she was saying. She did not understand English. She needed an interpreter. They happened to have one that worked for the county standing right outside the door, because they knew she was screwing up so bad that she couldn't keep the lies and stuff that they knew were all lies, because the social worker quit after interviewing her 2 or 3 times that knew she was lying, and refused to testify in court for the prosecution and lie on because he was an honest man. And during my depositions of him, he was extremely honest in the deposition, showing that Robert Bates, the now sheriff of Howard County, was a complete fraudulent liar. And that Linda Ostovich, the prosecutor, was a total liar. And that the judge was a total liar. And Kate O'Donnell was a total liar. And I'm putting this out to everybody know these names, because I don't give a damn anymore. Let them come after me. I have documented proof to prove it. I'm not slandering them. I'm not defaming them for any more than they deserve for what they did illegally. And I can prove what they did. But anyway, the interpreter comes into court and says to her, you only talk through me. Well, my lawyer started questioning again. She kept jumping up out of her chair and saying, you don't know how to interpret. My mom, this mom here, which was my wife, has an ulcer, not cancer. How stupid are you? And then we asked about fondling her breast. She said chest, and I touched her chest in Vietnamese. He came out and says, she just said that I fondled her breast. She jumps up out of her chair. I never said that. I said he touched my chest. Nothing about fondling my breast. She was fighting, and the judge and the prosecutor kept yelling at her, only talk to the interpreter. He will interpret what you say. Well, he doesn't know how to interpret. He's putting words in my mouth, she kept saying to the judge. Well, shut up and only go through the interpreter. Because they brainwashed the interpreter on what to say as her answers, regardless of what she said on the stand, to say exactly what he was told she should say. But anyway, at the end of that cross, which only took an hour or 2, she was so screwed up, she kept standing up in the chair. I don't remember where, when, what, or how. All I know is he did bad things to me. Yeah, I grounded her. I did a lot of things, took away her learner's permit, because of the disrespect she showed for what was supposed to be her mom, my wife, and me, and my other children that were born here. Total disrespect. Yeah, I did bad things, if you call that bad, taking away her learner's permit. At the end, the state's attorney goes last, Linda Ostovich, which quit or got fired immediately after my trial from the prosecution office. I don't know which one it is. She might have been fired because she actually got me convicted, or she might have quit because she knew she convicted an innocent person. My lawyer tells me they can't convict you because they don't know what you did and when you did it. There's no evidence that you did anything. All she could keep saying is bad things. I don't remember when, where, how, or what. But the state, Linda Ostovich got up there and stated, it is Maryland state law. If you didn't hear any evidence that he didn't do something to this poor woman, you have to bring back a guilty verdict. While pointing at me in court, did you hear one word of anything from anybody that he didn't do something to this poor woman? That he abused this poor woman? No, you haven't heard one word from anybody that he didn't do something. The only testimony you have is doing direct when I questioned her, and she said he did stuff. She didn't understand enough English during cross to answer the questions properly, like she did during direct. So, state law says since you didn't hear any evidence that he didn't do something to this woman, you have to bring back a guilty verdict because it's state law. Jury took 5 minutes, convicted me of all charges. The judge postponed for lunch, for us to have lunch. I ran out in the parking lot and saw the head juror. I ran up to him, scared the hell out of him, and I said, why did you convict me? She couldn't remember what I'd done, where I'd done it, or even if I'd done it. He said, we had all been talking for the 3 days during trial. All the evidence we heard we couldn't believe. We were going to totally acquit you. I said, well, why didn't you? Well, the prosecutor said it was state law. We were bound by state law that they didn't hear any evidence I hadn't done something to this woman, so we had to come back with a guilty verdict. I'm sorry about that, but it's state law. Why didn't you put on a defense or something? Well, my lawyer was telling me it was $10,000 more that I had to pay him if I put on a defense, and I automatically won. There's no jury in the world that could have convicted me with that testimony if I did bad things. I'm a convicted felon. This is Ray Bly for U.S. Congress District 7 to right these wrongs that are happening against American citizens and part of my criminal conviction. Thank you.